Isis, Pompeii, a real life account of Julia and Felix and how they became in tune in ash on their last day. A city learning the sound of its own heartbeat. Morning spills on the stone. The Mediterranean breathes. Children laugh like they own tomorrow. And yet, beneath the ordinary, beneath the markets and the vows, the earth tightens like a fist. Isis moves through the city like mercy with a knife edge. Not gentle in the way of everything will be fine. Gentle in the way of truth. The kind that doesn't let you sleep. If you are in search for truth, if you like this content, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more transmissions from the galaxy. And if you would like to speak soul to soul, there is a link in the description. Isis is protection, yes, but protection that watches. Protection that notices tremors in the soul before the ground admits its tremor. Julia feels it in her throat. Felix feels it in his hands. They don't call it magic. They call it what cannot be ignored. Julia arrives first, not with a crown, not with prophecy, with the honest weight of a person who must live. Felix follows, eyes always half a second late, as if he's reading the moment for meaning. They step into Pompeii as residents, travelers, but Pompeii receives them as a warning, because some places don't host visitors, they test them. Julia enters the bathhouse to become smaller, to let water hold her nerves the way walls hold Masonics. No treasure, no fortune, only routine, lady signs, bath oils, the soft negotiations of survival, and Isis stands nearby, not as a spectacle, a trembling in the air that says, you cannot wash away what is coming. The morning is bright, almost innocent. Then the stone begins to speak in shivers. A vendor steadies a jar. A teenager still jokes. A blacksmith still turns bronze. Because hands know work and minds refuse to panic. Pompeii loves its normal. Pompeii trusts its pride. But the mountain is the villain now. Old power breathing under everything that pretends to be solid. Thermal hunger. Molten pressure. A countdown written in the clocks. But in silence that grows too heavy to carry. People offer honey to buy sweetness from the sky. People barter dates to pursue the gods. They look at Isis, and sometimes they look away. Because Pompeii has a sickness older than fire. Greed dressed as certainty. Pride wrapped in tradition. Wealth believing it can bargain with ruin. Isis does not bargain back. Isis warns. Not because she is cruel, but because she refuses to let you mistake comfort for safety. Then the sky changes its story. Black smoke stains the edges of morning. The air thickens. Time begins to feel dishonest. Green frequency, not for music, not for celebration, for alarm. A signal that does not need a translator. Pay attention. Julia looks for signs in the mind. Felix looks for signs in the ground. Isis gives them both the same answer. Act like truth matters because it does. Pompeii loves statues, family symbols, rescue and devotion carved into permanence. But Isis teaches hard lessons. When the earth decides, symbols cannot negotiate. A rescue face becomes a falling weight. A protective gesture becomes sudden impact. Devotion becomes evidence. Evidence that the city's love arrived too late. The ground doesn't hate you. The ground simply ends arguments. There are always plans, and there are always reasons they fail. Boats are full, or boats are too far, or warnings reach the ears that are busy praising themselves. Some flee with knowledge, some flee with uniforms, some flee with confidence of empires. Even fleets, even veteran voices, even the reach of empires that call distant places home cannot outpace a threat that moves faster than decision. Isis does not ask whether rescue was possible. Isis asks whether help was chosen. When fear resides, greed becomes quick. It learns new legs. Pillage and plunder, glories of war. But war without an enemy, you can see clearly. Blood is the real cost, not borrowed, not poetic, paid by bodies. Wealth grabs at what it cannot keep. Money chases control while the city's breath runs out. And Pompeii discovers what ISIS has been warning since the first tremor. You cannot build a future on stolen time. Then the sun is gone, not fading, not setting, wiped away. Day to night, a room closing its door. Wailing babies, howls of nations. And the question that arrives, even when language fails, God, where are you now? ISIS does not answer with spectacle. ISIS answers with presence. The presence that says meaning is not removed just because you are afraid. The air cracks earth open. Human-shaped absence becomes a record. Ash becomes a witness. Truth does not arrive as comfort. It arrives as memory. The kind that refuses to let anyone say it didn't happen. ISIS stands over the aftermath too, not to soften it, to ensure it is not forgotten. Julie and Felix tried to do what Pompeii did not fully do. They listened, not only to fear, but to each other. They move with drills of the heart, hand, signal, spacing, rescue. Not magical thinking, just coordinated love. Work together, love together. ISIS makes community feel like a lifeline because it is. Organic evacuation, not a perfect plan, but a living response. Boats are full now, and they are gone. Or when they arrive, it's already too late. Some decisions are fast, some are late, some are both. And still, even in smoke, even in blindness, there are moments of revolution made of simple kindness. A hand that doesn't let go, a blanket offered without bargaining, a choice that says, I will not become only panic. Choose to live. Choose not to die inside your own denial. For millennia, ash has held Pompeii. Ash as caskets. Ash as a classroom. Isis asks one thing of the living. Remember the warning, not the spectacle. And if fate cannot detour, then let your choice be the difference. Stand together, return as brothers and sisters.